Now, I know there's still some division within the community and maybe the fan base overall at large over the DCU. And, look, some of this is just Snyder folks that are never going to let it go. There are, though, some big-time DCU fans, or DC fans, I should say, that just really didn't love Superman. We got some people in the community that love DC that gave this thing like a 5, which kind of shocks me. I think one thing you could say about Superman is, although it has incredible scores, the online discourse about the movie seems to be way more divided than the scores would have you believe. There's still, the jury's still out somewhat on Superman, okay? And I think in this moment, at the launch of this new universe, there's a question here of, should they even continue with this? Is this the move? And, of course, if you ask a Snyder fan, they're probably going to say no. Okay? And to be honest with you, they might even be justified in saying no just simply based off of the box office. However, as is always the case, guys, I'm just going to tell you what's about to happen. And you might not like it, but this is what's about to happen. I want to read you this statement here by David Zasloff, and I'd like to say that he put out 2 separate statements about this movie over the weekend. 2. 3 years ago, I hired James Gunn and Peter Safran to reimagine and unify the creative direction of DC under one leadership team by breathing new life and excitement into the world of the most iconic storytelling franchise in the world. James and Peter's commitment to honoring the legacy of the DC universe while forging something new and enthralling is inspired. I remember my first meeting with James 3 years ago. He spoke about growing up in Missouri and how the characters of DC Universe weren't just stories to him, they were like his family. His personal bond with these DC heroes was powerful, and I knew then that James was the right person to bring them to life. His love of the DC world runs deep, and it shines in every frame of his work. I think that's actually true. This weekend, we watched Superman soar as James Gunn's passion and vision came to life on the big screen. Superman is just the first step. Over the next year alone, DC Studios will introduce films Supergirl and Clayface in theaters. Still kind of can't fucking believe that. And series Lanterns on HBO Max. All part of the bold 10-year plan. The DC vision is clear. The momentum is real. And I couldn't be more excited for what's ahead. Guys, that's high praise, man. That is high praise, and I believe that marks the second comment he made. He doubled down on these kind of comments. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, there's a cynical way you could look at this, right? Because I saw some people speculating that this might not even be real. I read Jeff Snyder's newsletter last night, and he claims that this could have been written months ago. And that they're just projecting strength, that this is corporate speak, that this could change and the numbers fully roll in and maybe they're going to change their mind. Okay? And, hey, if you got that take, that's okay. I understand where you're coming from. I got to tell you, man, that's not my take on this. My take on this is they have made their bed. They are going for this. They're going for this. Okay, so this is the DCU. They're going to attempt this 10-year plan. Now, does that mean it's going to make it to 10 years? No. But I think that means it's going to make it into new greenlit projects. The biggest question mark for Warner Brothers was, should we greenlight more than this? Okay, so they make Superman. They've already shot Supergirl. They are serious about Clayface. Let's put a pin in the Clayface thing because what the fuck are they thinking? But just put a pin in it. And Lanterns. Those are all greenlit. The question from Warner Brothers was, are we going to do a Superman sequel? Are we going to do the next show? Are we going to do the next movie? Can we look at Superman's box office and justify greenlighting more? Now, I got to tell you, I'd probably wait to see what Supergirl does, frankly, but they're not going to. I think this statement from Zasloff means they are not going to wait. They are going. And I think the next one is going to be big. In the other statement he made, oh man, let me see if I can find it. Because the other statement he made, he literally name drops Batman and Wonder Woman. This is the double down. The other one was the first comments, actually. David Zasloff and Peter Safran on Superman's phenomenal opening teased Batman and Wonder Woman plans. Warner Bros. Has been on a real losing streak, blah, 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 blah. Here's what he said here. David Zasloff said a hell of a fun and is on the attack. Addressing what's proven a strong start for DCU Studios, he added, our biggest strategic opportunity was that DC was underdeveloped. Now we have Gunn and Safran firing with a 10-year plan. Supergirl has already been shot. They're working on Wonder Woman. They're working on Batman. Zasloff added, I believe deeply and wholeheartedly in motion pictures. It's the purest and most exhilarating and most powerful storytelling in the world. According to this report, Superman cost blah, 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 blah. Company's goal was Superman and ultimately to persuade movie fans to think differently about the DC Studios brand, that it has moved past a period of inconsistent storytelling and whipsawing quality. Superman is a hero for everyone. What a great weekend. What a phenomenal start to the DCU. So that's the double down. And I'm just, again, I'm telling you, he's name-dropping Batman. He's name-dropping Wonder Woman. I think that's actually pretty smart on his part. They're doing this thing. So, look, I still think this movie probably barely gets over 500. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for it to get in the 6s and the 7s. I don't think that's going to happen. But I also think the whole idea here is to build towards the future. And yes, technically speaking, Iron Man made like 6 something, and it was a big old hit. And hopefully Superman can get there too, like get to that 6 or whatever. But the truth is, Marvel didn't really start hitting their stride on like averaging $1 billion and making any movie profitable for several years, man. Several years. So you got to build to this thing. You know, like you really do have to build to this thing. And I think, you know, I still have a lot of questions about Supergirl and Clayface. Like, look, I think we're all kind of like, yes, we buy it, we get it, David Gunn. I think you're doing your thing. You know, Warner Brothers, you're doing your thing. This is what you want. But we got to have a serious fucking conversation about Supergirl and Clayface. I don't know what else. Like, that is real. Like, that does not feel like that's the move. And in fact, that's why Zasloff said Wonder Woman and Batman. I think Zasloff knows. And here's another thing, okay? Like, let's get a little conspiratorial here. Remember that Jeff Sender had that report, and he had suggested that there was a possibility that Gunn could take the Batman, take Pattinson, regardless of what Matt Reeves wanted. Okay? And the only person that could actually make that happen is David Zasloff. And Zasloff was kind of like the gatekeeper of that reality. And a lot of folks, like all the pundits, all the people that we follow, they were speculating, what will Superman's performance do to that conversation? Because if it had done very poorly, there was a chance that Batman had become the new DCU. Because, like, it's a little difficult to fit in, like, I actually was thinking about watching the Batman again last night. The Matt Reeves, John. It is a little difficult to imagine that guy in the Superman universe. But I think it's equally as hard to imagine, like, Peacemaker and some of this other stuff, like the Suicide Squad. Like, it's difficult for me to imagine that in the DCU as well. So what I'm saying is, like, you could actually make it work, you know, and the rough edges don't matter as much as the hype that it would potentially create. So I don't know, man. I just think, I guess what I'm saying is, if what Jeff was reporting is true, and that Zasloff had the ability to, like, force the Batman to be a part of the DCU, his doubling down on the DCU and name-dropping Batman in the post would indicate to me that he's actually open to that possibility. And I don't even think the numbers are there, but it doesn't matter. If Zasloff thinks it's the call and he thinks that that's the move, he will do it. So Gunn's universe has the support of that guy. And I think for that reason, despite wherever the numbers end up, I think they're committed to this. They're going to greenlight a series of stuff after Supergirl and Clayface. Weirdly enough, they might be able to survive lackluster Supergirl and Clayface. I think they need Lanterns to do really well. And then I think they need Batman. They need Wonder Woman. They need the heavy hitters moving forward. Fascinating Fascinating stuff going on here, man. So what do you guys think about Zasloff being so strongly supportive of the DCU? Do you think it's a fugazi? Do you think he's just projecting strength? Or do you think he's actually like doubled and tripled down on the DCU? What do you guys make of that? Thanks for watching, and if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.